Picture this. Sun-drenched beaches, turquoise waters, and lush green mountains. Sounds like a postcard, right? Well, that's Saint Kitts and Nevis in a nutshell. These two tiny islands nestled in the Caribbean Sea pack a big punch when it comes to natural beauty. They're like those friends who never boast but always end up being the life of the party. Now, I know what you're thinking. Another pair of Caribbean islands? But trust me on this. Saint Kitts and Nevis are different. They have this unspoiled charm, a sort of we haven't been discovered by the masses yet vibe. It's refreshing, really. No mega resorts blocking the views, no crowds drowning out the sound of the waves. Just pure, unadulterated paradise. And the best part? They're closer than you think. A hop, skip, and a jump, or a plane ride if you prefer, and you're there, ready to trade your alarm clock for the sound of waves crashing on the shore. Then let's dive into the wonders of Saint Kitts and Nevis. Saint Kitts and Nevis are part of the Leeward Islands, a chain that stretches like a necklace across the Caribbean. They're small, I'll grant you that. Saint Kitts, the larger of the two, is only 68 square miles. Nevis, her little sister, clocks in at a mere 36. But don't let their size fool you. These islands are bursting at the seams with natural wonders. Volcanoes, rainforests, coral reefs, you name it, they've got it. And the beaches? Don't even get me started. Miles of powdery white sand, lapped by the clearest water you've ever seen. It's enough to make you want to sell all your possessions and become a beach bum. Don't worry, I won't judge, but it's not just about the scenery. Saint Kitts and Nevis have a rich history too. They were once home to the Carib Indians, followed by European settlers who established sugar plantations. The remnants of this past are still visible today, adding another layer of intrigue to these already fascinating islands. So, are you ready to explore? Let's rewind the clock a bit, shall we? Millions of years ago, Saint Kitts and Nevis didn't even exist. The land we see today was formed by fiery volcanic eruptions deep beneath the ocean's surface. Molten lava spewed forth, cooled, and solidified, slowly building up these islands from the seabed. It's a dramatic origin story, to say the least. Evidence of this fiery past is everywhere you look. Take Mount Liamuiga, for example. This dormant volcano dominates the landscape of Saint Kitts, its peak shrouded in mist. Then there's Nevis Peak, a near-perfect cone that rises majestically from the sea. These volcanic peaks are more than just impressive sights. They're responsible for the island's fertile soil, which supports a dazzling array of plant life. And let's not forget the hot springs, a bubbling reminder of the volcanic activity that still simmers beneath the surface. So the next time you're soaking up the sun on a Saint Kitts and Nevis beach, take a moment to appreciate the incredible forces that shaped this paradise. Now you might be wondering how these islands ended up in the middle of the Caribbean, thousands of miles from the nearest active volcano. Well, it's a tale of tectonic plates, those giant slabs of Earth's crust that are constantly on the move. Think of it as a slow-motion dance, with the continents and oceans as partners. Millions of years ago, the Caribbean plate, where our islands reside, was sandwiched between the North American and South American plates. As these massive plates collided and ground against each other, immense pressure built up beneath the ocean floor. Something had to give, and give it did, in a spectacular display of fiery fury. Molten rock, known as magma, erupted from fissures in the Earth's crust, creating underwater volcanoes. These volcanoes, over eons, spewed out lava and ash that gradually piled up. Layer upon layer, they rose from the ocean depths, eventually breaking the surface and forming the islands we know today as Saint Kitts and Nevis. Imagine, if you will, those early days. No lush rainforests or pristine beaches, just barren volcanic peaks rising from a turbulent sea. Over time, wind and waves eroded the volcanic rock, breaking it down into fertile soil. Seeds carried by the wind and ocean currents found their way to these newly formed islands and took root. Life, as it always does, found a foothold. Gradually, the volcanic slopes were cloaked in greenery. Rainforests flourished, fed by the tropical showers that frequently graced the islands. And as the forests grew, so did the diversity of life they supported. Meanwhile, beneath the waves, coral reefs began to grow in the warm, clear waters. These underwater cities became home to a dazzling array of marine life, from colorful fish and graceful rays to sea turtles, and even the occasional shark. The transformation from barren volcanic outcroppings to vibrant ecosystems was nothing short of remarkable. But the story doesn't end there. The forces that created Saint Kitts and Nevis continued to shape and mold them over millennia. Wind and rain carved deep valleys and sculpted dramatic cliffs. Waves pounded against the shores, creating secluded coves and pristine beaches. The island's volcanic peaks, once jagged and imposing, were slowly worn down by erosion. Their slopes, once barren, became cloaked in lush vegetation, a testament to the power of nature to reclaim even the most inhospitable of environments. And then there's the constant interplay between land and sea. Tides ebb and flow, carving out hidden inlets and shaping the coastline. Hurricanes, those powerful storms that periodically sweep through the Caribbean, leave their own mark, toppling trees and reshaping beaches. It's a dynamic and ever-changing landscape, shaped by the relentless forces of nature. Today, as we stand in awe of the breathtaking beauty of Saint Kitts and Nevis, it's easy to forget the fiery origins of these islands. But look closer, and you'll see evidence of their volcanic past everywhere you turn. From the towering peaks of Mount Liamuiga and Nevis Peak to the black sand beaches and bubbling hot springs, the legacy of volcanoes is woven into the very fabric of these islands. It's this unique geological history that has given rise to the incredible diversity of landscapes and ecosystems we see today. From lush rainforests and fertile valleys to dramatic cliffs and pristine beaches, Saint Kitts and Nevis offer a tapestry of natural wonders, all thanks to their fiery past. So, the next time you find yourself marveling at the beauty of these islands, remember the volcanoes. They are the architects of this paradise. Now let's talk about those mountains. Dominating the skyline of St. Kitts is Mount Liamuiga, a slumbering giant cloaked in emerald rainforest. Standing tall at nearly 3,800 feet, it's a sight to behold, especially when its peak is wreathed in mist, giving it an air of mystery. It's like something out of a Tolkien novel. Imagine hiking through dense rainforest, the air thick with the scent of damp earth and exotic blooms. You climb higher, the air cooling, the sunlight filtering through the canopy above. And then, you reach the summit. The view? Simply breathtaking. The entire island sprawls out before you, a patchwork of greens and blues, rimmed by the sparkling Caribbean Sea. You can even see neighboring Nevis, its own volcanic peak rising proudly from the water. It's enough to make you feel like you're on top of the world. But don't just stay up in the mountains. The coastline of St. Kitts and Nevis is equally captivating. Picture this: powdery white sand beaches, fringed by swaying palm trees and lapped by crystal-clear turquoise water. It's the stuff of tropical daydreams. From the bustling shores of Frigate Bay in St. Kitts, a haven for water sports enthusiasts, to the secluded sands of Pinny Beach on Nevis, where you might just find yourself with a stretch of paradise all to yourself. The beaches here are simply magical. And then there are the hidden coves, tucked away at the foot of dramatic cliffs, accessible only by boat or a bit of adventurous hiking. These secluded spots feel like secret escapes, perfect for a picnic lunch or a refreshing dip in the azure waters. Venturing inland, you'll discover a different kind of magic: the rainforests. These lush green worlds teem with life, a symphony of sounds and colors. Towering trees, draped in vines, create a verdant canopy that filters the sunlight, casting an ethereal glow on the forest floor. Follow a winding trail, and you'll be treated to a sensory feast. The air is thick with the scent of damp earth, mingled with the sweet perfume of exotic blooms. Colorful hummingbirds flit among the flowers, their tiny wings a blur of motion. Listen closely, and you might hear the chatter of monkeys swinging through the trees, or the shrill call of a tropical bird. Beneath your feet, leaf litter teems with insects and other creatures, all playing their part in this delicate ecosystem. It's a world away from the hustle and bustle of everyday life, a place to reconnect with nature and lose yourself in the tranquility of the rainforest. But the natural wonders of Saint Kitts and Nevis aren't confined to the land. Just offshore, a whole other world awaits, the underwater realm. Don your snorkeling gear or hop on a diving boat and prepare to be amazed by the kaleidoscope of life that thrives beneath the waves. Coral reefs teeming with colorful fish create an underwater wonderland. Graceful rays glide effortlessly through the water, while sea turtles munch on seagrass in shallow bays. Keep your eyes peeled. You might even spot a nurse shark napping beneath a coral ledge or a school of squid darting through the blue. For those who prefer to stay dry, glass-bottom boat tours offer a window into this magical realm without getting wet. Whether you're an experienced diver or a first-time snorkeler, the underwater world of Saint Kitts and Nevis is an experience not to be missed. Now, if you're anything like me, you can't resist the allure of exotic wildlife. And let me tell you, Saint Kitts and Nevis don't disappoint. These islands are teeming with creatures both curious and captivating. But remember, folks, we're just visitors in their home, so a little respect goes a long way. Let's start with the stars of the show, the birds. These islands are a veritable paradise for our feathered friends. From the vibrant green vervet monkeys, their calls echoing through the rainforest, to the elusive agouti, a large rodent that looks like a cross between a squirrel and a rabbit. There's always something fascinating to spot on a nature walk. Keep your eyes peeled for the iridescent hummingbirds, flitting from flower to flower like tiny winged jewels. Listen for the raucous calls of the Caribbean parrots, their plumage a riot of greens, blues, and yellows. And if you're lucky, you might even spot the majestic pelican, soaring effortlessly above the waves. Speaking of the sea, the coastal areas of Saint Kitts and Nevis are home to their own unique cast of characters. Picture this. You're strolling along a secluded beach, the sun warming your skin, the gentle breeze carrying the scent of salt air. Suddenly, you spot a flash of movement near the water's edge. It's a hermit crab, scuttling sideways across the sand, its borrowed shell trailing behind it like an oversized backpack. These little guys are a constant source of amusement, forever on the hunt for a bigger and better home. As you venture closer to the water, you might catch a glimpse of a starfish clinging to a rock, its 5 arms spread wide as if in a perpetual embrace of the ocean. And if you're really fortunate, you might even witness the graceful ballet of sea turtles, gliding through the waves with effortless ease. But it's not just the animals that steal the show in Saint Kitts and Nevis. The plant life here is equally impressive, a vibrant tapestry of colors, shapes, and scents. From the lush rainforests that cloak the volcanic slopes to the vibrant gardens that adorn the towns and villages, these islands are a botanist's dream. Take a stroll through the rainforest and you'll be greeted by a symphony of greens. Towering trees draped in vines create a verdant canopy overhead, filtering the sunlight and casting an ethereal glow on the forest floor. Look closer, and you'll discover a hidden world of ferns, orchids, and bromeliads, their leaves unfurling in a dazzling array of patterns. And then there are the flowers, hibiscus, bougainvillea, and ginger lilies, their blooms exploding in a riot of colors, from fiery reds and oranges to delicate pinks and purples. Now, as much as we'd love to keep this paradise all to ourselves, the truth is, these islands face their share of challenges. Climate change, habitat loss, and pollution all threaten the delicate balance of these ecosystems. But the good news is, the people of Saint Kitts and Nevis are acutely aware of the importance of protecting their natural heritage. Conservation efforts are underway to preserve the island's unique biodiversity for generations to come. National parks and protected areas provide safe havens for endangered species, while sustainable tourism initiatives are helping to minimize the impact of visitors on the environment. So, as you explore the breathtaking landscapes of Saint Kitts and Nevis, remember that you have a role to play in their preservation. Respect the wildlife, tread lightly on the land, and support local businesses that are committed to sustainable practices. Together we can ensure that this Caribbean paradise continues to enchant visitors for years to come. For those who feel alive with wind in their hair and salt spray on their face, Saint Kitts and Nevis offer maritime adventures. Set sail on the sparkling Caribbean, embracing the freedom of the open sea. Imagine yourself at the helm, the tropical sun warm on your skin, the gentle rocking of the waves, the flapping sails and seabirds overhead. Explore hidden coves and secluded beaches, or soak up the sun in blissful isolation. Perhaps the thrill of deep-sea fishing, reeling in a marlin or tuna. The azure waters promise endless adventure. But let's not forget those of you who prefer to keep your feet firmly planted on terra firma. For the hiking enthusiasts among us, Saint Kitts and Nevis offer a network of trails that wind through lush rainforests, past cascading waterfalls, and up to panoramic viewpoints that will take your breath away. Picture yourself trekking through the dense rainforest, the air thick with the scent of damp earth and exotic blooms, the sound of your own footsteps muffled by a carpet of leaves. You might find yourself following in the footsteps of history, hiking past the ruins of old sugar plantations, their crumbling walls a reminder of the island's colonial past. Or perhaps you'll choose to summit Mount Liamuiga, the dormant volcano that dominates the landscape of Saint Kitts. The climb is challenging but rewarding, culminating in breathtaking views that stretch as far as the eye can see. Whether you prefer a leisurely stroll or a challenging climb, the hiking trails of Saint Kitts and Nevis offer a unique perspective on these beautiful islands. For those who feel the call of the deep, the underwater world surrounding Saint Kitts and Nevis is an absolute treasure trove. We're talking about strapping on a scuba tank and descending into a realm of vibrant coral reefs, teeming with marine life that rivals the most colorful animation. Imagine yourself floating weightlessly amidst schools of fish, their scales shimmering like 1,000 tiny jewels in the filtered sunlight. You might find yourself nose to nose with a curious sea turtle, its ancient eyes seeming to hold the wisdom of the ocean itself. Look closer, and you'll discover a hidden world of intricate coral formations, home to a dazzling array of creatures, from tiny, colorful nudibranchs to lobsters hiding in crevices, to the occasional reef shark patrolling its domain. Whether you're a seasoned diver or a first-time snorkeler, the underwater world of Saint Kitts and Nevis offers an unforgettable adventure. Section 4. Island Rhythms Beyond the Trails and Waves. Exploring can work up an appetite. Saint Kitts and Nevis offer plenty of ways to unwind. Settle down at a beachside bar, a cold drink in hand, as the sun dips below the horizon. The sound of steel drums drifts through the air. You might find yourself drawn into a game of dominoes with the locals, or simply relax on your balcony listening to the waves. Embrace the rhythm of island life. Islands in the stream. We've journeyed through the volcanic heart of Saint Kitts, and Nevis scaled the misty heights of their mountains, and wandered through rainforests echoing with exotic birds. We've strolled along pristine beaches, and dipped our toes into the turquoise waters of the Caribbean Sea, encountered playful vervet monkeys and tiny hermit crabs. We've marveled at vibrant flora from delicate orchids to fiery hibiscus flowers. As we pack our bags and bid farewell, let's reflect on what makes Saint Kitts and Nevis special. It's the feeling these islands evoke a sense of peace and tranquility. It's the warmth of the people, their smiles as bright as the Caribbean sun, their laughter as infectious as the rhythm of the steel drums. Section 2. A shared responsibility. These islands are living, breathing ecosystems threatened by climate change and pollution. But there's hope. The people of Saint Kitts and Nevis are on the front lines of protecting our planet. They understand that preserving their natural heritage is imperative. From conservation projects to renewable energy, they are taking steps in the right direction. The responsibility to protect these islands lies with each of us. Section 3. Leaving only footprints, taking only memories. Travel responsibly. Be mindful of our impact. Support local businesses. Respect cultures and traditions. Advocate for change. Every action counts. Preserve natural wonders. Leave only footprints, take only memories.